Turning Red came out last week, and as a dad of 3 girls who didn't grow up with sisters, it was very eye-opening to me. I wasn't aware that near the end of the middle school years, girls gained the power to turn into giant red pandas, and I'm not sure I'm ready for that in my household. In all seriousness, I was hooked on the movie, and I absolutely loved how they were able to portray this turning of age story and show it in a kid-friendly and understanding way while also still keeping it entertaining. I really feel it gave me a chance to understand what my girls are going to eventually be going through, as well as a medium through which my wife and I can communicate and have a conversation with our girls about that. Since the movie is less than a week old when I'm releasing this, here is your spoiler warning for Turning Red. Welcome to my channel. My name is Josh, and I discuss Disney movies here on this channel. When the trailer for Turning Red came out, I absolutely loved it. The idea of a teenage girl being able to turn into a giant panda seemed like an obviously good choice by Pixar, and honestly, I wasn't sure what to expect from it. Sure, we can tell from the trailer and how her dad reacts that this was something that Mei Lin Lee was expected to go through. But I was under the impression this was going to be something more along the lines of the Hulk, where she's going to have to learn how to navigate life with the ability to turn into a panda at a moment's notice. Now that I've seen the movie, I know that it has much more to do with the uncomfortable feeling of adolescence. While the story is definitely targeted towards the maturing of a young girl, I'll admit there was plenty of that I could relate to as well. From the strained relationship of a parent who's just trying to do their best to guide you, to feeling out of place and embarrassed, there's plenty that all people who have been through the adolescent years can relate to. My wife and I watched this movie before letting our kids watch it because we believe in consuming the same content that we want to show our kids so that we can ensure that we approve of it and its messaging. And after we watched it, my wife and I agreed that this movie will be a great way for us to start a conversation with our girls about just having an open communication within our family. Even though Mei Lin knows her mom doesn't like the pop group Four Town, for example, she still tries to be open with her about the fact that she wants to go see them when they come to Toronto. Mei Lin's mom immediately shuts down the proposition, offering what Mei feels is no legitimate reason for doing so. This leads to Mei Lin not only feeling like she can't approach her mom, but that her mom just doesn't understand her. And there's so many scenes in this movie where Mei Lin Lee feels that she can't talk openly with her mother for fear of retaliation. And this is spurred early on with the mom's reaction to seeing her journal with her drawings of her and Devin. The fallout from all that leads to her lying to her mom, from making up reasons to stay late at school, to lying about how she's already got control of the panda and what she's doing to control the panda, and saying that she isn't turning into the panda at all. She sneaks out of the house in order to go to a party that she's fairly certain she's not allowed to go to with her friends, one of which her mom just doesn't approve of, in order to gain money to go see a pop group that she's pretty sure the mom isn't going to let her go to anyways. And I feel like we've all been there. We've all been the teen that believed that our parents didn't get us and didn't let us do what we wanted to do. Many of us believed that our parents wouldn't understand what we were going through, even if we tried to talk to them. And regardless of where we are now, we still remember that feeling. And that's what makes these scenes relatable. But these scenes also served as a reminder to my wife and I that we need to acknowledge our daughter's feelings and listen to what they have to tell us. Honestly, I feel like that's the avenue that Disney's been going down with the last couple of movies for a while now. The movie is geared towards the kids, but the majority of it still applies to the parents, either directly or to give them insight as to why their kids may feel the way that they do. In Turning Red, we can see that Mei Lin's mother is similarly afraid of talking to her mother, just like Mei Lin's afraid of talking to her mom. This shows that this feeling of not being able to be open with one's parent is generational in this movie. And it shows that even if we grow up saying, I'll never be like my parent because they wouldn't do X or because they did do Y, it takes a conscious effort to actually make the change. And it may not be readily obvious to you that you aren't changing that behavior. When Mei Lin meets her mom in the spiritual bamboo forest, she meets the young girl who doesn't feel loved. She feels like she can't talk to her mom, and she's just finished attacking her mom. Mei is able to take this time to reflect and realize that we all need to be forgiven for what we've done, even our parents or our children. In this moment, Mei Li sees that the parents aren't trying to be controlling just to be controlling. They aren't trying to stop you from having fun, though I know it can feel that way. Parents are just trying to protect you from the experiences that they have had, but in doing so, they can stifle your chances to have your own experiences. Sometimes these experiences will hurt, but other times they can result in more serious damage. And as parents, it gets hard to tell the difference between those experiences that will hurt and heal and those that will cause damage. And as a result, we just try to protect our children from all of the experiences, to protect them from any harm that might come their way. But sometimes letting go and letting your children have their own experiences can be amazing. I think no one embodies this better in Turning Red quite like Mei Lin's dad. He's the quiet spectator, feeding the family, observing the interactions, and doing what he's asked to do. But at the end of the movie, he has his own time to shine. He sits down with Mei before the ceremony and explains to her that sometimes it's better to embrace all aspects of yourself. He explains that we aren't supposed to suppress the stuff we don't like about ourselves. Instead, we should be trying to make room for those things. I feel this applies both to the parents as much as it does to the kid in this instance. As a teenager, you need to learn to embrace the changes that are coming. You need to learn the things that you love just as much as the ones you don't. But don't try to hide those things that you don't like. You don't have to flaunt them. They'll still be a part of you. Similarly, we parents need to learn to be accepting of our kids. And I know that sounds ridiculous because we love our kids. We're parents. But it goes beyond that. We need to learn to love our kids for who they are and who they are becoming, not for who we want them to become. Teenage years are stressful on kids. It makes no sense to make it harder on them by putting additional pressures on them. This doesn't mean that we should just toss them into the world and expect them to fly. Everyone needs that core support from their family. Teenagers are going to believe that they are adults. They are going to believe that they can make their own decisions. But when the times get rough, they are going to want their parents for support. So make sure that they feel welcome to come to you and be there to listen and guide them. Don't push them in the direction you want them to go, but instead help them along their path. That's my review of Turning Red. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought about the movie down in the comments below. It's definitely been interesting seeing Disney and Pixar go towards the more relatable movies recently, both for kids and parents. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out this video here where I talk about what I think happened the first time Mei Lin's mom turned into her panda. It's definitely something I thought about as soon as I saw her panda. I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.